It's what I like too is she's not keeping it a secret. She shows you, she has a little opening here in the back, and she's showing you what exactly the clusters look like. And I will tell you, because I have brought multiple bags of this into our house, I really like this. It's very good, very tasty, no complaints at all. And another one that I like to get is this one. And this is called Seven Sundays. And I think both Purely Elizabeth and Seven Sundays, they're fairly popular and pretty common. I've seen Purely Elizabeth and maybe Seven Sundays too. I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen Purely Elizabeth at a lot of grocery stores, and it's really become popular. I think people are really happy with what a good quality it is and such high quality ingredients. However, it's expensive, and sometimes it's a small little bag and it's like $7.99. So this big bag at Costco, you can't go wrong. 2.1 pounds. And what did I tell you? $10.99? You know, groceries are expensive right now. There's no getting around it. And yes, we can make this homemade, and you can make a homemade granola relatively reasonable. So some of these things, as I said, it just kind of falls into my multiple streams of food. And boy, I can't tell you how valuable it was that I believe in multiple streams of food, that I'm not a zealot. I'm not going to say every single thing needs to be homemade, because when my husband and I got sick right after Christmas, it was early January, and we developed viral infections. I know a lot of you shared with me, you were going through this too. It just went through wildfire, like here in the United States. And we developed a virus. It was like a cold virus, but then it went into a bacterial infection, and we had a hard time shaking it. And the fact that I had multiple streams of food in our house, the fact that I was not up to making a lot of stuff homemade, but that I had all kinds of food in my pantry that we could rely on, that were things like this, or canned beans, dehydrated soup mixes, things like that. Sometimes these are things I make homemade in advance that I've dehydrated and I have in my pantry. All we need to do is add a little broth. I usually have a pretty good collection of bone broth in my freezer, but if I don't, I usually, which we'll talk about in a little bit, I have backups of broth or stock or bone broth that's ready-made. Is it as good as our homemade? No. But like I said, during that month of January, it really came in handy having these multiple streams of food, because even, God bless my poor husband, we went through the viral infection into a bacterial infection, and then he developed bronchitis. And thank God I didn't get that. I tend to be a little prone to upper respiratory infections, both my mother and I. And I don't know if it's like hereditary or what, but I don't worry too much about it. As I said, she lived to be 98. But, I got to be careful. And I was really lucky. I was taking a lot of elderberry syrup, which I've shared with you. You can make that homemade. It's not hard. You can buy it already prepared. There's so many brands out there now, but it's also easy to make homemade. And it's nice because you can kind of doctor it up with whatever other things you want to add to it, that I show you the way I like to make mine. But I was taking a lot of elderberry syrup and different of my different home remedies. And I was lucky that I was able to thwart also getting bronchitis. But it's been slow. It's amazing how long it's hung on. And just like little remnants of it, a little coughing, now and then a little postnasal drip, whatever the case may be. But having a well-stocked pantry, it served me really well during the month of January. Okay, so getting back to this 7 Sundays one that I also like to stock. This is really nice in yogurt, or if you want a little extra crunch, in your oatmeal instead of just, some chopped nuts or whatever the case may be. And this is my favorite one. And I was so happy that they had this particular one last time when we went to Costco the other day. This is Rise and Shine Mix Strawberry Banana Nut. And I think they're like freeze-dried, the strawberries. Oh, they're delicious. And what's neat about this is a nut granola. And it also has no added sugar. It's sweetened with dates. and it has no gluten, if that's something that's important to you, and it's no genetically modified ingredients. I wanted to, let's see, I want to read all the ingredients to you. Okay, here we go. It's almonds, coconut, sunflower seeds, dates, pecans, pumpkin seeds, coconut oil, flax seeds, chia seeds, see I'm getting them into our diets, strawberries, bananas, and vanilla extract. And I have to tell you, this is really tasty. I highly recommend you try this. And the price on this one is $11.89, and this is 20 ounces, so more than a pound. What would that be? 1 pound and 4 ounces. So Elizabeth's is definitely a better buy, but this, it's based on the ingredients. Nuts are expensive. They're more expensive than oats, and there's so many nuts in here. And, you know, she even says that it's a nut granola. And I will tell you, from having eaten this, it's chock full of the almonds and the pecans. And then you've got the sunflower seeds, the pumpkin seeds. It's got expensive ingredients in it. But this will last you a good long while. You know, we're putting in at most maybe 1/4 cup, whatever we're using. Here they say 1/3 cup is 19 servings. And we're probably maybe putting 1/4 cup, maybe 2 tablespoons. You know, we're not using a ton of it. And it's good through in terms of staying fresh. You know, we've talked about Best By dates and all of that. But it's good through the end of this year, 2025. And let me see if she's got an expiration date on hers. Yes, same. This is also good through the end of the year. And I probably buy these maybe twice a year. These last us a while because we're not eating it as a regular. We're not putting a bunch in a bowl, covering it with milk. We're using these more as toppers for different things. And they're, like I said, I mean, you can even put these on salads. They are just so tasty. Now, you will see different varieties in both of these. There's one that has chocolate in it, and I'm a chocolate lover. I'm not going to lie about that. You all know I'm always, when we go to Aldi's together, I'm always getting some of their chocolate. I love chocolate. But the chocolate granola I found was like a little heavy, and but it's a treat. I mean, it is really a treat. It's just not as versatile. And so if I buy things like this that are pre-made for me and, you know, are... I feel there's value here, but still, you know, I'm spending in the, you know, $11 and $12 range. I like them to be very versatile. And I found that the one that's made with chocolate, super tasty, but really the most you can do is maybe put it with some yogurt. It's just, the chocolate, it's very rich and sweet and tasty. And so just keep that in mind. If you do see the chocolate one, it is a little less versatile than these two. Even with this one with the strawberries and bananas, it's still very versatile. So definitely check these out next time you're at Costco. I highly recommend both of them.